Matt Theisen.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here and joining us on this. I'm thrilled. I guess I should say we are thrilled to have you. I've had the pleasure of knowing you for a while, but can't say we've ever had this conversation.
Nope, never have.
So I'm really excited to be able to sit here and listen, ask questions, and just for you being here. So I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I have never did this before either. And
Way to give a spoiler alert right away.
yeah, and the only one I've talked to about this basically is my wife, and
Okay.
of course my other two daughters too.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah.
Okay. So we have, let's do a little background. So yes, proud father, husband, brother,
Yep.
son, all the things.
Yep.
Retired from the fire department. How many years were in the fire department?
36 years on the fire department, and then-
36 years.
and then 39 with the City of Monticello.
Wow.
Yeah.
So to say you were involved in the community is a little bit of an understatement. You
Yeah.
could say almost you half near built the community
Yeah.
to what it is today almost. Well, maybe you
Yep.
don't want to take all the
Yep.
credit.
Oh, no.
Some things are like, that wasn't me.
No, I started in 1979. You ain't gonna believe this, and I got $3.60 an hour.
Wow.
If you can believe that. The city only paid half. The state or the state paid the other half under a CETA program, and then basically I started in June 14th, 1979. But then I worked for 40 hours a week, so I was full time. But then the city hired me full time, where the state did not pay anything. And then I went to $5 and some cents, and then I joined the union. That's what everybody was making back then.
Okay.
So and then I worked my way up, all the way to the city or the utility superintendent. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So,
Very. And with the fire department, you held, I'm sure you did many different jobs or roles, or I mean, and I kind of know a little bit of understanding just from military background, but I don't
Yep.
fully understand how the
Yep.
rankings go in the fire department. But what was that like?
I started in 1982. Unbelievable. Basically, how should I say that? Because I work for the City of Monticello in the water department, so I know where all the hydrants are, fire hydrants are.
That's
and,
good.
And the water main sizes and whatever. But anyway, I was reading water meters, and Scott Douglas, he still owns the two buildings, I believe. Anyway, it was Golden Valley Furniture. And so when I was reading that meter, because we had to go inside of every house, when I first started, we had to go inside all the houses to read the water meters. We read them every quarter, so every 3 months. So anyway, I went in there, and I started in 79, so I've been in there 4 times a year times 82. So I've been in there, over 10 times. And so we, we talk a little bit, and he says, well, have you ever thought about joining the fire department? And I said, no. And he says, you would be a good candidate. Why don't you join? So I went home and talked to my wife, and she said, sure. And so I stopped in there and told him, yeah, I will. And so he said to come to whatever the meeting night is. The first 2 Mondays, we do something every Monday of the month.
Okay.
The first 2 Mondays of the month is drills. The third one is the meeting night. So they said, come in on the third one. So I did. It was, can't remember what month it was, probably April or May. So I went in there, and there was 2 other candidates there too. And I know you guys interviewed Kurt Liefert. Well, his brother was one. I take that back. That was the second time that I went in. Anyway, what they do is you walk in. Everybody can ask you any question, that they want. First, I think Scott said that I work for the City of Monticello, and then from there, he didn't know anything about me. So I told him, yeah, I'm married, and I think I had 1 kid at that time. And then what they do is you go into the bay, and they vote on you.
Oh, wow. Right
Yeah,
there.
right then. You
Okay.
didn't do no paperwork, no nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I come out, and I got voted off. They didn't want me on. So I go, wow, okay. Nobody knew me.
Yeah.
But back then it's family.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so anyway, you ain't gonna believe this, and I shouldn't say this. I hope I don't get in trouble. But anyway, remember Dino's Other World?
I don't. Adam's shaking his head. Yes, I
Yep,
don't.
yep.
Okay.
Well, it's a place that serves a lot of pizza and food. And
Okay.
it's right by our wastewater treatment plant. It's the next building past the wastewater treatment plant, which is on Hart Boulevard. It's a big 2-story, 3-story really building, and it was called Dino's Other World. And they would basically, if you go to eat there, I've ate there once, and we had pizza, and they got monsters dressed up like Frankenstein, the werewolf, or Dracula, and they'll come and they'll mess with the kids or whatever.
Okay.
Well, that burnt.
Oh.
Okay, caught on fire on a Friday night, and it burnt. And anyhow, I understand they had it out, but then it rekindled. There must have been 2 ceilings in there, and basically, I heard they ran out of water. Okay, so then I know a gentleman that was on the fire department. Well, Jay Morrell, he owns a business where he has ready mix trucks, so he's hauling water up there. Meanwhile, all of our tenders are trying to haul water to it, but they couldn't keep up. So anyway, so it burnt. I saw it. I saw it from my house in Monticello, and I said, "Oh, there's something burning on the east end of town." So then I come to work Monday, and I know it was that. I think it was on a Friday night. I know Saturday that it was Dino's Outer World, because I went up there and saw it was burnt down. So then I go to work that Monday, and right away my boss, Walt Mack, goes, did you see that Dino's Other World burnt down? I said, yeah. He liked to swear a little bit. So he kind of swore a little bit, and he says, "You see where that fire hydrant is right there?" And I said, "Yeah, it's right at our entrance of our wastewater treatment plant. Here, they didn't even hook up to it." He said they hauled water in. And anyway, there's a rift between the Monticello and the fire department.
Okay.
And so that's when I found out, because of that, they asked me to, Scott Douglas, and another gentleman came and asked me if I'd put my application in, because 3 guys retired now. And he says, I know for a fact that they voted no. Now you're probably are gonna make it.
Okay.
And so I did make it. Okay.
You were the bridge that connected the city to the fire department.
And the reason why is, where the old fire station was.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. At that, before the water department was based out of there at one time too.
Okay.
And they shared it with the fire department. And I guess my old boss used to take stuff off the truck and not tell anybody. And that's something I would never, ever do.
Yeah.
Ever. I wouldn't even take it off the truck unless I got permission from the chief or one of the captains, but I would put it back.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what happened. So they had a rift there. So in that building, they ended up putting a wall in between the water department and the fire department. Okay. So now I'm on,
Yeah.
and, how should I say? Now years go by, about 3 years. Now the building official wants to join the fire department, Gary Anderson. I don't know if I should say names either. I don't know if I should.
I think it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're not.
So
let's not make sure we don't incriminate anyone too bad. But I think this is fairly light. This is okay. This was a while ago.
We're talking about the fire department, though.
I graduated with Gary Anderson's son.
Oh yeah, Dustin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, now he wants to get on. Okay, so I'm in the group now.
You're the guy. Yeah, you're one of them.
I hear everything. Okay, so he comes in just like I did. They'll ask him all these questions, which is great, where he lives and, how many kids he's got, which is great, And then all of a sudden they put him in the back room to vote, And now I hear, there is no effing way we're going to have 2 guys from the city of Monticello on this.
We already got Matt. We're already screwed.
So I'm already, right,
They're getting in like termites.
So I went, oh my gosh. And so he got voted off. And then he would never put his name back in.
He's like,
and I almost didn't either, because I know they didn't want you. But, I made it 39 years, and I'm the longest one on there. Wow. And I, to be truthful with you, I hate to say this, the chief that was on, I know didn't like me at that time at all. But then he resigned too, after that fire, So And I know, there's some hard feelings there with him and the fire department and the city. So, anyway,
You made it past that a few years though.
oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
once I got on, it didn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yep.
And I was, I feel I was a good fireman, strong and young, and could do it about anything.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you have to. Jay Morrell, he was somebody that at that time I mean I do now. I look up to him. Try to my dad always said, when you boys, I had 6 brothers. When you boys get a job, find out the one that works the hardest and outwork them. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. That's good advice.
That very
Yeah.
to me, and I
Yeah.
go, sure.
You're not
okay.
going to go wrong if you do that.
Nope. And when I started with the city, that was no problem at all. But the fire department, the big one was Jay Morrell.
Yeah.
You can never outwork him. Just try to. And I always said, I'm going to keep up with him.
I'm going to try to outwork him, but really I'm just keeping up.
I'm
best
trying
I
to.
can.
I'm trying to keep up with him. So yeah. So but then you had Mark Wallen. He was very good when I first got on. The rest.
But you were able to get to be one of those guys that was a role model for people coming on. They were like,
Yeah.
hey, I want to be.
Yeah.
For you it was Jay Morrell.
Yeah.
Now you had people that are like, hey, I want to be like Matt Theisen.
Yeah.
So you were setting that standard, which
And
I think says a lot.
Yeah.
As an individual.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that, but I did. I was a rescue captain for a couple years because I did not, being with the city, it's a time. You're raising a family, and we're already gone every Monday.
Yeah.
Then if you're officer, it's Wednesday. And then I got to, working for the city, and once I became the superintendent, then you got the city council meetings, and then you're in, I was in charge of quite a few of the, about every one of the street rehabs, I'm in it heavily,
Yeah.
So I just didn't have the time.
Yeah.
And I was gone enough anyway, so, and back then, we didn't have that many calls, but then at the end, you're getting close to 300,
Yeah.
in the 2s anyway.
Yeah.
So I think once or twice we hit the 300s, but I loved it though.
Yeah. Well, to do it that long.
Yeah.
It's
And I know I knew what was on every truck, and I knew where every place was, kind of,
yeah.
And I was in quite a few, car accidents where you have to cut them out, and I was on that bus accident where those 3 kids died,
Yeah.
I was the first one in that bus.
Mm.
Rodney Volbrick and myself were Martin Flicker, I found out later, he retired, and he lived right over there, almost in that same intersection. He was there first, got on the truck and moved a couple heads so they were breathing. Everybody was unconscious, until we got there.
Yeah.
And then, that was not a good
Yeah.
scenario there. But
Yeah. You've seen a lot of
yeah,
the lowest,
yeah,
the low places for people.
and some good ones too.
Yes. Yep.
And some good ones.
And that's good to
Yeah,
remember those as well.
yeah.
But
Because that bus accident happened in, I think, 2000 and I can't think now. That wasn't 2000, 1997, 1998. So we had that in April. And then we had the floods coming down where we had a lot of snow, and it melted up north, like in Grand Forks area.
yep.
And so River Terrace was flooding. Oh, boy. And then, so I met the mayor, I think, and the public works director, because River Terrace, they thought was going to rise way more than what it did. So we had to evacuate all the lower units, of River Terrace. I don't
Yeah.
know if you know where that's
Yeah.
at.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. So we did. But when I got pulled in there, and it was just myself, and I had a 1-ton truck, the water was even with the rim, the bottom rim, if you're stopped.
Wow.
By the time I moved up there, it was half to the axle,
Oh, it was moving up
that-
real quick.
that fast. And then they ended up calling in the fire department because we had to evacuate. Everybody was out of there already, except for that house, the owner, Gary Schuber. And what he had in that basement was just unbelievable. He had baseball cards, hockey cards, all these cards. It's
All
worth a ton
collector
of money.
stuff. Yeah.
So we had to get it out of there
Oh
before it
no.
flooded.
Oh jeez.
But then, and unfortunately, yeah, we were so busy then too. That's April. So basically, we read the water meters April 1st, and that takes every one of my guys for a week to read the whole town.
Yeah.
And then we clean the water towers, the second week. And now the state calls me and asks me if I could take, I only have one good working truck that I had all the equipment on. He wants me to go up to, I think it's Grand Forks or Fargo, and because they got flooded.
Help with the flooding.
Help getting the sewer and the water back going.
Oh.
And so I go, God, I can't because it's already.
You're getting pulled every which way.
Yeah, we've already got it in the paper where we're taking down the towers, And of course, one of my guys want to go up there, take the truck. And I said, yeah, I don't have a problem with that because we're going to be in the tower anyway. And I'm the guy that sits the controls. I'm the one that's going to make sure that it's, bacteria free before we start filling it. So I called, Dave. He's the head guy in Minnesota for the health department. He says, no, we got enough workers. We need a guy that, So I said I can't go, and that made me feel bad because I would have loved to got up there. It'll be up there for a week.
Yeah.
And you'll be sleeping in the gymnasium.
Yeah.
And. Yeah, I would have been in charge of the sewer and, getting the lift stations back going, getting them unflooded, and anyway, I did not go. But anyway, John Simla and I, he was the public works director, we took a survey unit or surveying. So we found the two lowest basements that would get flooded if it would have kept rising. We were so fortunate to have XL where it's at because they keep track of the water level.
Oh, yep, with the power plant.
So the nursing home that's hooked on to, the nursing home down on West River, they would flood. And there's two houses that would flood, one on Front Street and then one on West River. So they ended up getting the kids to sandbag the nursing home, high school, seniors or juniors. And in the other two, we just waited. And we got so fortunate because it crested before it got to either three.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. So that was no problem. So
still a very trying year.
Yep.
For the fire department and public works and just the city.
Yeah.
And you were very plugged into both of those, all those things.
Yep. So that was good. As the time goes on, with I-94, everybody's driving, 70 miles an hour, 65 at that time. And there was no seat belts.
Yeah.
At that time you weren't allowed, you didn't have to have your seatbelt on. And we were going to quite a few fatalities, not one a month, but probably 6 a year.
Okay.
Where they roll over and then they come
ejected
get ejected out of the car. And then so funny, then every year we put in money for a grant that the state gives you, and I think it's federal. And to either get a truck or get some uniforms or whatever. And Michelle Fishbach came because I think XL was starting to put their own spare rods from the nuclear plant. I think they're keeping them there or they're putting in bulk and then they're shipping them out. Well, anyway, she came to look at that. And then the fire department was there and she says, well, how's it going or whatever? And is there anything you want to say? And I did talk to her. I said, I want to thank you for, making sure everybody has seat belts on. She says, yeah, no problem. And then one of the fire department goes, and it was one of the captains or chiefs, said, we've put in for a grant every year and we never get one. We want to know why,
Ask the tough question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. One of them said, well, you guys are so close.
So close. You're so close.
In other words, if something goes wrong,
Yeah.
we're expendable. So anyway, but if you go in our old city hall, it's so awesome because when I first started, I was on the civil defense too. The city was civil defense. So if you go in the old city hall, we had these huge pictures that hung on the wall, and to me, they're stupid pictures. Didn't make no sense.
Yeah.
But boy, then we had to do a civil defense drill, and you roll those pictures back, And now, so you got the back of the picture. It shows the city. It shows the grid of the nuclear plant. And depending on which way the wind's coming, it shows all the hospitals in the whole area, St. Cloud, the cities. It shows all the bus companies. It shows all the clinics. It's all there. And so I got involved with that. They asked, I got involved in that anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then that year they sent me to Vegas for 10 days. Believe it or not.
Wow.
Nuclear disaster course.
In Vegas.
Vegas. They sent me 5 days. We stayed downtown at the Fremont hotel or whatever, casino. And then 5 days out at the Air Force Base and for drills. And the 5 days of test, of book work or whatever, textbook, was way over my head. It's, but mostly everybody there was engineers. A few highway department people, highway patrols. We had the number one training officer for Minnesota Highway Patrol there. Bald guy, kind of older guy. We only had 2 women. One of the ladies, her uncle was, he was the coach that for the Philadelphia Eagles when they won the Super Bowl. And I don't know if Vermeil, I think was his last name was Vermeil.
Dick Vermeil?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And then that movie American Underdog,
Yep.
where he was the coach for the Rams when Warren.
Kurt Warner.
Warner?
Yeah. Yep.
I had his niece was from, I think, from Philadelphia. She was in that class. And another lady was from California, But anyway, then we went to Mercury, Air Force Base, and they show all these trucks, in the desert, and they're all shot up, because the jets are strafing them.
Yeah.
But boy, the drills were second to none.
Yeah.
I kid you not. Every time we went to a drill, they said, look out for rattlesnakes. That's the first thing they asked you.
Yeah.
So the first drill we had was playing softball with SCBAs on. And then when you run out of air, you just disconnect, but you have to have the mask on. And it's hot, it's over 100 degrees out there. And it was no problem. I was young, no problem. I love playing softball anyway.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I had no problem.
Yeah.
But then the drills after that, we had the number one guy from the Panama Canal, must have been on the American side.
Okay.
He got killed every time in those drills.
Jeez.
Wandering around.
Okay.
But the drills were like a semi-accident. They don't tell you. They just said semi-accident versus car, power lines there, and basically at the end, after that first drill, they wouldn't let a fireman or a police officer lead it because we know about the power lines and what we have to look out for. That I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And anyway, the last one was the best. We came into a power plant, and they were shooting off. They said dynamite, and so you get the real, sound of it or whatever.
Yep. Concussion.
And then they're pumping in steam into the building, so you can't see your hand in front of your face, and there's this many people gone. Or missing or whatever, and you have to go find them, and we found them. One of them was awesome. Big Lake wasn't, Monticello was a little bit bigger than Big Lake.
Yep.
But they had a city as big as Big Lake that was completely empty.
That they did training in?
Well, because they did nuclear testing there. And now we got the whole town evacuated except for we're missing 3. So you have to go in there and find 3. We had the teams,
wow.
Oh, it was just awesome.
Wow.
My team got killed off. And the only reason why is we got too close to, they needed this drill to last, like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And we were on them.
So you had to have something pop up.
Yeah.
There was
anybody in white was a ref or whatever.
Yeah.
You're dead, lay down, or just stay here until they find you.
Oh, okay. Fine.
So that was pretty good. I thought that was pretty good. And then I think they ended up moving it then from there to Buffalo because we were too close. But we ended up getting $165,000
for a grant. Okay.
Now that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And it's a bad thing. And in what you're wondering why it's bad. Well, we ended up getting all new turnouts, all 30 of us. We got our own SCBA, mask, everything, bunkers, your jacket, gloves, leather boots. I mean, it looks nice.
Yeah.
They only last 10 years. Now, before that, the city would replace them every 5, but not all of them, So now, we get all this new stuff, and now you're going to have to replace it in 10 years. That's also I think SCCBA's goal. You have to get them tested like every 5 years, but
Yeah.
I think they last 20.
Okay.
So, but anyway,
So you had you went through quite the ride. You've learned a lot and experienced a lot
Yeah.
from the fire department and
Yeah.
the city side.
yeah.
So what I'm interested in is the little bit of your background, a little bit of history I've heard of how you grew up
Oh,
and
yeah.
so you grew up, did you start, was your family like a Christian home when you were young? And then, or kind of take me through, because
Sure.
what you've told me is that
Yep.
you were raised Jehovah's Witness.
Yes. Yep.
So I'd like to hear how that started,
Yeah.
what that was like, and then when you found God and when you kind of transitioned away from Jehovah's Witness into Christianity and what that looks like.
Sure.
If we can start, I know that's a big broad,
Yeah.
okay, there's a lot of time there,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
just kind of wherever you think the best starting point is.
Sure.
I'd love to hear that.
Sure. Okay. Well, I guess my mom started looking at Jehovah's Witness when I was in 3rd grade.
Okay.
And I had, how should I say that? My dad was in World War II.
Okay.
Okay. And he was wounded. He got shot up pretty good, bad. But anyway, he survived. And so I remember my dad was a Catholic. My mom, I don't know what she was, but I can remember we came from South Dakota, Egan, South Dakota, real close to Pipestone, 18 miles across the Minnesota border. The Vietnam War was starting,
Okay.
and I was probably a 3rd grader, and my older brother was a 5th. He was 2 years older than me, and she didn't want us to, go into a war, or fight in a war.
Okay.
And so she prayed about it, and then I guess that week or the next day, a Jehovah's Witness came knocking, and then they got talking about different issues about the war or whatever. And so she started studying with my mom. And
Okay, the person that showed up started becoming more regularly. Okay.
and that's what they do. They'll go door to door, trying to
Spark some interest.
try to place the Watchtower and Awake with you. And that's a magazine that comes out twice a month, the 1st and the 15th, I think, or the 15th and the 30th. And it basically tells you what you can do and can't do and shouldn't do, if you become a Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
And then what they do, if that sparks an interest, then they go right into a book that they sell. There's many books that they sell, and they study with you. And so my mom, and they're very nice people. I mean, they are very nice. And she clicked right with the lady that was studying with my mom.
Okay.
But I remember going to a church in Egan, and I can't remember what what it was. But
You think was it
once
a
or twice.
Catholic church? You think, or
No.
No.
My dad was a Catholic.
Yep.
And she did not my mom does not like the Catholics at all.
Okay.
Oh. And my wife, Yvonne, is a Catholic, and boy, it just,
Christmas was. Sorry, I shouldn't say Christmas.
Yeah.
Family get-togethers were difficult.
well, no, she's just, my mom is, when younger, she's rude,
Okay.
it's her way,
Okay.
So anyway, so she started studying, and we became Jehovah's Witness. And
Okay.
I remember the last Christmas I was a 3rd grader. My mom's got pictures she bought me my older brother and myself, a huge fire truck. I mean, we're talking 4 foot long, and it's steel, not
big-
steel,
yeah.
but something,
Yeah.
no plastic back
Yeah,
then.
metal, a real one.
Yeah, a real one.
Yeah.
And so that's the last I can remember of Christmas. Other than that, there was no more Christmas on. And then,
Wow. So after 3rd grade, you
3rd
did
grade.
not have a Christmas.
yeah. And then it's so funny because, my brother Mike, my older brother, I was so jealous of him because I shouldn't even laugh, but I'm going to. He's not athletic at all, at all. And so, Dad let him play baseball, and then basketball when he was in 5th grade. And we would go to a couple of the cities, to watch him, but he never played, And I go, and I always dreamed about, I'd love to play, Anyway, long story short, we became Jehovah's Witnesses, and now we moved to Minnesota here when I was in 5th grade. And
Okay.
I went to a country school.
Okay.
It's right in Forston. And
Now,
then,
were you allowed to play sports then?
No.
No. So that's why you were jealous. Your brother got to at least play.
Yeah.
Even if he wasn't playing,
Yeah.
he was at least participating and practicing and doing the thing.
yeah.
And you never even got that chance.
Nope. And then so I fifth grade, so in fourth grade there was not gym at all in fourth grade at all, so we never played at all in school, But when I went to grade school, they did. We had 4 classes there. We had fourth, fifth, and sixth. We all played together, and there was enough to have a team if you had some of the girls,
Yeah.
And so we did, and I had a real cheap glove, but it was I loved it, I mean, I did. We had a barn, a big barn. And, I put up a basketball hoop and I was shooting baskets,
And this is all at school.
Yeah. Nope. We didn't play basketball in school. This is on our farm.
Oh, okay.
But in school, in the grade school, I did play. I mean, I played. It wasn't organized. It was like for every recess.
Okay, because you
we'd
couldn't do organized, but you
Yeah.
could just play rec. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
And so, we played. Okay, so then the teacher that taught me, before she came to Fortune, she went to another school that was in the country, and so they were all going to come to our school because we had a better field than what she had, and we were going to play that school against our school. Okay, so my little brother's in I was a fifth grader, so he was like a second grader, and so I was taking my glove, to school, and then he had to say, "Yep, Mom, Matt's going to be playing softball against another school," And she goes, "No, he's not." And I go, "Oh," and then I had to tell her.
Throw your elbow at your brother.
Yeah,
Whack.
yeah. I knew okay, so anyway, I couldn't play,
Yeah.
So, so there
That had to be devastating as a kid.
Oh, and I was the best player of the whole thing.
Athletic, growing up, just want to play. You can't. Oh.
I couldn't play. So anyway, so I sat with the girls.
Yeah. All the boys are playing, and then there's Matt with all the girls.
Yep. So, but then when Christmas comes, we can't color, or we can't, nothing to do with Christmas at all.
No stockings, no coloring,
No,
snowman.
and they
or-
have a Christmas, play. I couldn't be in that, so I had to, color. I couldn't color a turkey because it's Thanksgiving and they don't believe in Thanksgiving. Easter, so it had to be a building or
What was that
trees.
like? I mean, with all the other kids, did they kind of were you young enough where they didn't really? Was there bullying
No,
with that or
no.
not really?
No.
No. Okay.
No. I got bullied just once.
For being a Jehovah's Witness or growing up
yeah,
following the rules and stuff of that.
It wasn't me. It was my little brother.
Okay.
He had a sister, and we didn't have much money, and then we have to go in service. Try to place the watch, turn, awake. I don't want to say peddling, but place the watch, turn, awake. And so, what my mom.
So sorry, I just want to so people listening. So when you're a Jehovah's Witness, you also have to kind of participate in, we could say soliciting or
try to-
going door to door or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you do that by yourself or with your brothers or with your mom or kind of a little bit of everything?
Nope. It would be my older brother Mike.
Yep.
And myself. My mom didn't go out because I had 5 other brothers.
Yeah.
So she stayed at home.
She was busy.
But there was 2 older brothers that lived by Delbo, and they would come to our house or every Saturday morning.
Okay.
Every Saturday morning, and so anyway, there's one kid there, real tall, skinny kid. He saw a cow crap on my boots, and the reason why we had to go in service. So my dad, Mom, they bought me slip-on boots, to go over my good shoes, and but when we cleaned the barn and milked, we would put felt in them, felt liners, and so we wore them both. They would handle both things, going in service and also cleaning the barn and milking cows.
Gotcha.
And so he goes, he was picking on, he was going, your little brother, and that was Steve, likes my sister. And he says, there's no effing way that he's going to, marry. I'm not going to have her marry a Jehovah's Witness or whatever. And
how old are you guys here? Just ballpark?
I was in 5th grade. He was in 6th.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, still pretty young. Just tough guy talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's, he was real weak, all mouth. Okay. So anyway, in the wintertime now, the teacher said that we had a couple that had boxing gloves. And so they brought the boxing gloves into school and she let us box.
Ed school.
I'll just say payback was a big thing for me.
You knew who you wanted to fight first.
Yeah, right away. Yeah, come on, Gene, let's go at it,
I volunteer you and me.
And I shouldn't even say this, and I shouldn't have said Gene. But anyway, now I'm a seventh grader. I'm just going to fast forward here.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, hit the points. Yeah, please.
I'm a seventh grader now, and he's eighth grader.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have to get vaccinated in the arm, for, I can't remember.
School,
what it is.
something, blah, blah, blah.
Yep. And so we're all in line. And so they come up to him and vaccinate him, and he passes out, and he pees his pants.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So,
now you had more dirt, more ammo.
Yeah. So anyway, it was, every time I saw him and he gave me any crap at all, I just asked him, have you peed your pants later?
Did he give you much crap after he learned his lesson?
No,
he's still big
really
mouth.
didn't.
Just kept going.
He really wasn't after that. So,
okay.
Yeah. So
gotcha.
But anyway, so I basically
all through high school.
play.
I mean, all through high school, Jehovah's Witness.
No, in seventh grade, we had a barn. It ended up being knocked down by a tornado. But before that, I had a basketball hoop up there and in the hayloft, and I shot a lot, and dribbled a lot up there. And before we moved to Forston, there was a older kid that was our neighbor that always shot basket, and he was on the basketball team. So I went down and shot with him, and he kind of showed me what to do.
Yeah.
And he was so taller than I, so I got to learn how to do the hook shot.
Okay.
And got pretty, I got pretty good at that. So now fast forward it, I go to, school in Malacca, and it was, well, anyway, you got all the boys there, and there, you get like in a group of 5 in a row, and then they want you to dribble up, shoot, do layups.
Yeah.
And so I did, and I beat everybody, and then the coach comes up to me, Matt, you plan on going out for basketball? And no, I can't, and he just take his stinking whistle and kept hitting me on my chest, you need to go out for basketball. And I said, I
can't
do that.
Yeah.
I won't, my parents won't. And it was end up being football too. So
literally you never, nothing, not any organized sports while you were a kid or in high school.
No. I thought I was going to be able to play football because the coach came out to talk to my dad.
Yeah.
And I was milking.
Okay.
And I knew he's coming out. And then he said, sure like to have your son play, football if you would let him. And he goes, is he really that good? And he goes, oh, he's pretty good, So, well, maybe. And of course, again, my little brother right in told my mom. And then before we're done milking, in come the minister, the overseer, and you'll see I dropped off the things that Jehovah's Witnesses can't do.
Yeah.
And
you got
it was just
you got a few of those, Adam. Have you highlighted a couple that you want to?
I don't have a highlighter with
me,
so I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, but
it's quite a list, extensive.
Yeah, it's I've been skimming through it.
And would you say? I think we all can agree. Some of the things are very agreeable. I mean, there's things in there that are very agreeable.
Yeah.
But so we'll go where Matt's talking about play competitive sports, run for class president. You can't run for,
and I was voted class president in my 6th grade, and then I came home and I didn't even know that. And then I said, "Yeah, Mom, I just got voted."
Thinks you're happy and proud.
Yeah.
Young kid.
No, you can't be that. And it's the reason why is because you would have to lead the class in, the American, the allegiance.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Yep. And then.
That's not allowed.
No, it's not. And then, so anyway, I had to.
You can't go to prom.
No.
You can't attend class reunions.
No.
That's a lot.
It's like 184 things you can't do, no holidays. And I didn't know that. I didn't even know we couldn't celebrate Mother's Day, So, my daughter, Lindsay.
Yeah.
So she's at the Legion, and they have a a wheel that you spin and, you win prizes.
Yeah.
So she won a rod and reel,
Yeah.
and I love to fish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's a push button one.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah.
cheap
Yeah.
one, and I know my mom and my stepdad, that's all they have. So they came over and I said, here, I give it to Lauren. You think you want this, Lauren? He goes, oh my gosh, yeah. And I said, well, tell him it's Mom. It's for Mother's Day. Okay. And so now.
And did you know that was going to stir the pot a little?
No, I had
Okay.
no idea. And so they go home, and then my mom calls, and she's mad. She goes, Matt, I don't celebrate Mother's Day. She says, I want you to come right now and pick up that rod and reel.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, Mom, I'm not going to go all the way to Prince. I'm living in Monticello. It's
Yeah.
only 30, 40 miles.
But
And I
still.
said, I'm not. No. I said, you
Yeah.
give it away. Just you can do whatever you want. You can throw it away
Yeah.
or whatever. But or just give it to Lauren.
Yeah.
And that's what she ended up doing, is giving it to Lauren.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
anyway,
Yeah, that's an extensive list.
yeah.
That would be hard. That would be, as a kid, I can't imagine. So when did the Jehovah's Witness, did that play a part in your parents' separation, or totally different, unrelated stuff?
Well, what happened was, so my older brother, after he graduated, he became a regular pioneer in the Jehovah's Witness. So
Okay.
he's going door to door, and being a regular pioneer, you have to put in 100 hours a month, going door to door.
Wow.
And so he ended up working for a person in Monticello here, one of the Bondises, and he owned his own shop. And so he was his foreman there. And so, and he let him only work when he wanted to work. And then, and my mom did help him. I mean, he didn't have to pay rent or do anything. He helped us hay, that's all. He didn't have to milk anymore,
Because he was doing this. He was doing
Yeah.
the pioneering for the Jehovah's Witness. So
Yep.
he didn't
Yep.
need to do as much around the house because
No.
that was more important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. And so, how should I say that? Then, everything is going good. Our farm is starting to grow. We're farming another farm, but we're giving half of the crops to the farmer. He's an old bachelor, and we took the other half, and we did everything.
Yeah.
We put in the hay loft, and then every week we would come down and put hay in front of his cows. So, he's an elderly guy
Yeah.
and hunchbacked so bad.
Yeah.
And my dad liked him. I mean, and then anyway, so now I'm a senior and going to graduate. So I wanted to be a farmer, so I had my little old herd. We could pick any cow we want, and we could start our own herd.
Okay.
So I had jerseys. I ended up getting 2 of them from a farmer that I helped hay, and then he gave me 2 calves. And so they got bigger, and they ended up having calves. So I had a herd of 6 coming.
Okay.
And so anyway, everything is going good. Now I graduated, and then I should back up just a little bit
Yeah.
here. Okay, so when I used to go in service, from 5th grade all the way through my senior year, I had we never got allowance, hardly any money, doing all that work. But I got to go in service, and my mom would pay. It's only 3 cents she would pay for a watchtower, and 3 cents that she would pay for the wake. She would have to buy them, and then my older brother and myself would go out and not peddle, but try to get
Okay.
sell them for 10 cents.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did that from 5th grade all the way on, and so I would take that money and I would buy comic books.
Okay.
And so I had a real good collection of Spider-Man and Captain America.
The OG
and
stuff, the original.
I had the original #1 Spider-Man, and I
Wow.
had Captain America's, the original, all the way up to like 87 of them. So, and they're in bit shape, So, anyway, everything's going good. Okay.
This is rule number 31. You cannot read any worldly books. Magazines, publications, and literatures that might weaken their faith.
Uh-oh. Adam might be foreshadowing something Matt's about to say here.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a congregation up in Onamia, and they have a bunch of boys too there about my age. And
This is Jehovah's Witness.
Jehovah's
Okay. Yep.
Witnesses. And so they come down, and so I let them take all my Captain Americas up there. You know, he wanted to read them, and I had them nice and, you know. And so, yeah, I see, I never got that until after I quit being a Jehovah's Witness, all those. And so her mom calls my mom, and there's another Jehovah's Witness boy in Princeton, too, that we had all of Marble's, all their comic books covered. I would buy half, and he would buy half.
Yeah.
We have them all,
Yeah.
you know. And so my mom burnt them.
Oh.
I come home and, you know, from the bus, and then this is so funny. It's in the spring too. And we have no air conditioning, so the windows are all open, you know, and then, you know, Matt, you come in here, you rest of your boys, stay outside, you know, so I know something's going on here.
Yeah.
And I didn't do anything that I thought I did wrong.
Yeah, you had no idea.
Yeah. And so she says, yep. Did you know what was in those comic books? And I go, well, Mom, it's Captain America. So, you know, well, you know, there's no nudity, but the women are, you know,
Scandalously comic book
and not that
dressed.
bad either,
Yeah.
you know.
Not in today's standards. Yeah. Yeah.
And so she said, I burnt them. And then Francis Molinar burnt Gary's too. You can't have any more. I want all the ones upstairs down here too. Well, she found them.
Yeah.
I had them right in my closet. So she burnt them too. So they burnt all those up there, and they burnt mine.
See, most moms would find other magazines in their teenage boys' room and burn them, not comic books.
She got so mad. I mean, my mom, I shouldn't even tell you this, but this is kind of funny. So anyway, no, I won't tell you.
Okay.
It's going to embarrass all my brothers and me.
Okay,
Maybe a little
yeah,
bit.
no.
Yeah. But it had to do with the Sears magazine.
Yeah,
And the Pennies magazines, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Those were very scandalous if the comic books were.
And then my mom would only buy so much toilet paper. So if you run out of that, she puts a magazine in there, you know.
Oh.
And so now the whole magazine is gone except for the bras. And I know it's my brother's.
Oh, man.
But what comes around goes around. So my little brother knows my mom goes through everything, you know, of ours, everything. And so
It's amazing you didn't have this list for sooner
yeah, I
with
know.
what you can't do. It's like your mom knew and wanted to just
When I quit
ding
being
you
a
on
Jehovah's
everything.
Witness, I Googled that, and that's what came up. And I go,
I wish
you're right. We can't do any of this, you know. So my brother put something in his, you know, in my mom too, put something in his, you know, his underwear drawer, sock drawer, you know, and it's a girl that that wrote him, you know.
Okay.
And she goes, you know, Steve, you know, and she's a worldly girl, you know, you can't, you know, you can just be friends. That's all. No girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
And so she had him write something that, oh God, my period is way late. I might be pregnant. And so what he did is he put it, just to see if mom would catch it, put it underneath his mattress. And sure enough, we all get off the bus, and then right away, Steve, in here, rest of your boys out right now, you know.
Oh,
and then
no.
he brought it up, and Mom, I was just kidding you, just to see how long it would take you to find it.
Yeah. So she was,
Yeah.
I mean, she followed that Jehovah's Witness thing to the best of her ability.
Rule number 55, dating non-believers is discouraged because dating is expected to lead to marriage within their faith.
Yes. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yep.
We were talking a little bit about if the religion had anything to do with your parents separating or anything like that, or
Well, what happened was I graduated now.
okay.
And then again, I started pioneering, but not
Yep.
regular, but just 1 month, being a temporary. So I only have to put 75 hours in that month. And I had to go out a lot by myself because nobody comes down to Malacca. So, and then what they'll do is they'll take the whole territory and they'll give you a map of the little territory. And then you have to keep track of who, you know, the address, where you go to, and if you placed a magazine and you come back or whatever. So I was up there, you know, north of Malacca, and I came to a gentleman. And again, we start out the presentation about, you know, about how bad the world is back in 1975. Or this is 1976 now.
Mm-hmm.
And they all agree, yeah, it's getting bad. The end has got to be coming. And then I went to Revelations 21, 3 and 4, where it talks about God wiping out after the Armageddon, God wiping out every tear, and there'll be no more death. Will be gone for forever, whatever. I used to know it by heart. And then well, why are you doing this or whatever? And then I went to Matthew 24:14, where it talks about the good news will be preached in all the inhabited earth, and then the end would come. And then every Thursday they talk about how the Jehovah's Witnesses are, but it's a Watchtower Bible and Tract Society is growing. So the end of the world was supposed to come in Armageddon was supposed to come in 1975. There's only going to be 144,000, which talks about in Revelation. They will go to heaven and they will govern with Jesus. The rest of the people, after Armageddon comes in 1975 or close to that, will be back on earth. We'll get anybody that has died since Christ was, they didn't believe in the cross. They believe on a stake. They would all get resurrected. Okay. Okay, where am I going with this? Okay, so anyway, then I go, he asked me if I believe in the Trinity. And I said, no, we don't. So I read a Jehovah's Witness Bible, and it talks about John 1:1, and the Bible, I have my Bible here. Yeah. And This is what tripped me right here. This got me doing all the research. So I'm using my Bible is the New Translation, but I talked to my mom, and she said to use the King James as what the normal Bible. I mean, they're all good.
Yeah.
But they're usually, if they're going to make another Bible, they usually go after the King James.
Okay.
But anyway, if you look up John 1:1, it says, "In the beginning, the Word already existed." Okay, the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He existed in the beginning with God. Now, the Jehovah's Witness Bible talks about, in other words, I believe in the Trinity, where God, Jesus, came down on earth, and it's God in a human form.
Yep.
They're one with the Holy Spirit. Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe that.
Okay.
They believe that they're both separate. And the Jehovah's Witness Bible they say that God, in this Bible, God is a big G. In their Bible, God is a little g. God is a God, not the God.
Oh.
A God. So that was it right there, and that threw me.
And this guy actually was questioned you and was, wow.
So
okay.
that ding ding.
Yeah.
It's, okay. So, and if you know me,
And you're like, what are you, 18, 19?
I'm 19.
19.
19.
So you're,
Just turned 19, and
you're young and know a thing or two, and you're ready to learn.
And I'm working full time with my dad in a meat packaging plant in St. Cloud.
Okay.
And he starts at 2 a.m, and then he's the custodian, basically does the cleanups or whatever. And I'm the forklift operator in a big warehouse. And anyway, so that so I went and asked my mom about it, and she says, "Well, no, they're separate." And I said, "But Mom," I said, "he showed me right in his Bible, and he thought I didn't ask him what religion he was. Well, that must have been a different religion Bible." And I said, "Well, what is a true Bible?" And she says, "Well, everything usually comes out of the King James." And I never looked it up, or go ask the elder, or and I never did that. So anyway, I hate to say this, but there's going in service, our elder, our head overseer, ends up starting to study with a gentleman north of Forston, and now he starts coming to church. And we have quite a few ladies that are not married there, and they're going, they're all talking about how cute he is, and he's going to be a catch, and I can't believe, it's a godsend that that he's coming there, and it just goes in one ear and out of the ear of mine, of me anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, now then it comes April of 1976. So my dad and I are working together, and first break we take a break at 10 o'clock, and then he leaves, and then I work until 4:30, and so he comes up to me. I'm going to back up. That was a Monday. That Friday, my brother got caught hitchhiking. My little brother Steve got caught hitchhiking from Princeton to Malacca. Jehovah's Witnesses saw him, called my mom and said, "Did you know that Steve's hitchhiking from?" And that's something we can't do.
Can't do that. Okay.
Nope.
It's on the list.
Yep. So anyway, my dad and my mom, my dad and my little brother got into it. I mean, big time. My mom is right there too.
Yeah.
And so my little brother runs away. He runs away up to my uncle and aunts up in Onamia. And that was a Friday. And I know, there's a lot going on the farm. We needed a tractor with live power to bale. Before that, we had a Super H, and we always had to pop the clutch when we bale, when we get into heavy hay. And he wanted one with live power because, we're putting up over 3,000 bales a year. So anyway, I'm milking. My dad comes there and he says, Matt, we need a tractor that has live power. And I said, yes, we do, Dad. And Mom doesn't want me to get one. And I said, well, Dad, we're Jehovah's Witnesses. And the Bible says you're the head of the household. She's got to, what you say, she has to, but you have to talk about it.
So now you're using
the Bible.
Yeah, you're using the Jehovah's Witness creed against your own mom.
So anyway, so that happened like a week or whatever before that. Then my brother runs away. And then, so then Monday morning, the 16th of April, we're first break, and Dad goes, yep. He says, I just hired a Lauren. That's the guy that, the Jehovah's Witness is studying with, the good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Him and your brother Mike, now he's laid off for the summer. They're going to start roofing the house today, re-roofing our house. So I said, okay, that's fine. And then he goes, God, he says, and then he talks about Steve. He goes, my little brother, Raymond, is an excellent kid, but he had a few problems when he's growing up too. He says, so just take care of Steve. And he says, Matt, if anything ever happens to me, take care of all your brothers. And I went, Dad, nothing's going to happen to you. And then he goes, God, my gout is killing me, and that's right where he got shot in the war.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm going to have to go back on my diet. I have to tell Mom to start, making liver, because he, used to eat liver and onions or whatever. Well, anyway, he gets home and he's selling all these cows, or all these pigs. And the guy wrote him out a check, and he looked at the check and he died of a heart attack right there.
What? Oh, wow.
I couldn't believe it.
Huh.
So, and then meanwhile, like the weekend before that, we had a 50 John Deere brought in, I didn't know if it was paid for. I didn't know anything. I just know we have a 50 John Deere now. It's in April. We ain't going to start baling until probably early June. And didn't think anything of it. Now Dad died.
Yeah.
And so I went home. They called my little brother, my aunt, the dad died, to come home. You better come home. And I was so pissed off at him, I was going to beat the crap out of him. First just
because you were thinking some of the stress he was putting on.
That stress, and my mom with the stress, about the tractor, and then, but then he just fell to the ground and was bawling, and I know he blamed him. I never said I blame you or anything.
Yeah.
But then he started drinking, and then he got into some drugs, some hard times there. And then I find out I went to Arnold's in St. Cloud, because that's where we got the tractor from. And I kind of took over everything, and because my older brother didn't want to have anything to do with the farm at all. He didn't want to farm. So, but Arnold says, no, your dad was going to buy the tractor. We didn't do the paperwork yet, because he didn't have to take a loan out, because that's why he sold the pigs, was for the
tractor.
For the tractor. I know it. And then, so I ended up going, they said, well, you can come pick the tractor up. They took a vote. My two brothers, the brother that, got caught hitchhiking, my older brother, and my mom, they wanted to sell everything. I was the only one that said, no, let's keep it. All my other brothers were too young to even vote.
Okay.
And I said, Mom, you better keep it going, because you're going to get in trouble. I mean, the boys are just nothing to do. They're
Yeah, you need the farm for them.
You need the
gotta
farm.
give them something to do. It's good for boys to be raised on a farm.
But anyway, it was not a good thing there, So we sold everything except for one tractor, and we bordered Forston. So believe it or not, when I So we had a mile to go to school because we had to go around unless you cut across the pasture, which we had a river there. We had the west branch of the Rum. So I rode horse a lot to school, and I would stake her out at the end of our farm, take a bale of hay there, and it was easy. I mean, it was great. And
Yeah.
then, or ride bike or run or walk or whatever. So, but anyway, he passed away, and then we sold everything. And we grew up with hardly any money at all. And then, I had 6 brothers that got Social Security. And then my mom got Social Security until the youngest boy, turns 18 or graduates.
Oh, because your dad's military, World War II.
No, even if you have 2 kids, if you pass, if something happens to you or me, no, you get that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you will get that. So at that time, it was like $500 and some a month, $575 or whatever. Our milk checks were over $700 a month, which back then is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then so anyway, my mom got a lot of money for what she never had before, And then she rented the land out, and what the rent was paid for everything. The taxes, the insurance.
Yep.
The electricity, the food. I mean, we had 170 acres right in there. And then, And then she started dating that guy that was roofing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and then married him.
Wow.
All within about a year,
Oh, okay.
So now, so my brother Mike, and if you look in that list, if he's like 21 now, and he's regular pioneering. They have a thing where now he thinks he should be the head of the household,
Oh, because dad's
dad and
passed away. So
yeah,
now.
yep. So him and my mom and him really got into it numerous times. My mom would, you had to be in. She locks the door at 11 o'clock, and she knows we have keys. So she takes a big old butcher knife and she puts it right through the trim, so you can't get in, and so he's sleeping in the barn. And numerous times, when I go to milk there, he would be in the barn sleeping. I said, the door's open now, Mike. You can go get in bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought, but anyway, it was not good, there. And then my brother's, he was a little aggressive with my mom, and so. And he would pick on my brothers when they're by themselves, but he wouldn't mess with them when there's 3.
Okay.
And then him and my mom, Lauren and my mom got into it, and he threw her up against, but my mom has got a mouth. I mean, my dad was so easygoing, he would come in the barn when we're milking. He goes, yep, Mom wants us to do this, so boys got to do it, And we never backtalked him at all.
Yeah.
We knew how hard he worked, and wasn't a good deal,
Yeah.
So the 3 brothers knocked him down, and because he was pushing him around and slapping up the brothers one-on-one. Now he hit my mom when 3
And
of them saw
this
him.
is your stepdad? Okay.
And so they jumped on him,
Yeah.
pitchfork to the neck.
Oh boy.
Yep. And he says, Mom, we're done with this. You call the sheriff's department. And she goes, no, I'm going to call Wayne. And he's the elder. You can call Wayne, but he's going to be dead. He says, you call the cops first, then you can call Wayne.
Oh, jeez.
And so they got them both there, and they straightened it out. But then my brother that was 16, he ended up moving out right now. Then,
just done with it.
He's done with it, yeah. So the other 2, 3, they stayed there, right after my dad died, my older brother and my mom got into it. So my brother moved out, and I did too at that same time. So because
And you were like 19,
I
20.
would say probably late 19 or early 20s.
Yeah. And your older brother was
22.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
about 22.
Yeah.
So
You weren't moving out at 16.
no,
But still,
but Scott
a
did
little
at 16.
abruptly.
Yeah.
Okay. And then younger brother did.
Yeah. And then the other, but Steve moved out right away too. I think my mom kicked him out, kind of.
Okay.
He was trouble, though. He was trouble. And so, they all started, a couple of them started smoking, down at the by the river. And then every time
You can't do that.
No.
It's on the list.
I know. It is on the list. Yeah. Chewing too.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. My dad used to chew. And at that time, before it came on the list, my little brother, and he used to shoot Copenhagen. And so the one that ran away, he would put coconut in there, just coconut. And he'd put it between his lips, and then used to piss off my mom. Steve, spit that out.
I think you're chewing it's just coconut.
Yeah. It was
Kids being kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get out, you move out.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And you had this curiosity from a random stranger that you'd walked up to.
Yeah.
And he read you John 1:1?
Out of his Bible.
Out of his Bible.
And I just read them out of mine. I go, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They are one. You know? Okay, so then what I ended up doing is, and I wanted to play sports. That's another reason why. And I wanted to get a TV. So I moved out and then I started researching.
Okay.
So
what did that look like? Were you like did you try other churches and like go to church physically, or just like library, or like people, or how did that start?
Nope. I just quit going. I guess you're right, until about 84.
Okay.
85. Was it 85 or no, it was longer than that. It was when I met Yvonne. I ended up getting divorced with my first wife, and then I ended up
And so you were kind of just without religion. You're kind of in a different spot for a period of time.
I was.
Okay.
I started playing a little bit of softball. My first wife, she didn't like sports at all. And then so I just played softball on one team, but I had a lot of teams calling all the time for me.
Looking for a guy. Hey, Matt, come on. We need you.
We're playing in a tournament. We need you, whatever. And then, but anyway, my mom always said, when you get into sports, then you're going to get into drugs, and alcohol, and to be truthful with you, I have never been drunk.
Yeah.
I have never touched a cigarette. I've never took a drug, drugs at all. And so I got on a real bad team in Monticello here. It's called the Chaparral. That's when the bar, it's where Hawks is right now.
Okay.
And it was a team that, nobody played, but except for two guys from the city in the parks and the street department. They go there and they drink a little bit. And so they're getting a team together. So I said, I'll play, I'll play. And so, so I did. And we had to play Fairs Garden Center the first game. And we lost to them, I think 34-1.
Jeez.
I hit the home run. I only batted once.
Yeah.
And so from there, it just, very fortunate that there's a gentleman, Gary Orth, his wife worked for the hospital. She was a nurse. He wanted to get on another team, so we picked him up, and he was a good player too. And he's got a team in Elk River that he plays on, and then he asked if I would play on that team. And to make a long story short, you're lifting the little weights and you feel good, so you think that if you get a bat that's like 38 ounces,
okay, Kirby Puckett.
No problem. And so. Well, the player that we have on the team, if you've ever heard of Viking Coke?
Yeah. Yep.
He was their number 4. He played on that team before he was their number 4 hitter. Very good hitter. I mean, I can't say how good he was. He's good because Viking Coke picked him up, and they were the number 1 team in Minnesota. It ended up being Long Haul. I don't know if you've heard of Long Haul.
Yep.
That was a team. Well, anyway, he was on that team. Okay, so he sees my bat, and he goes, he likes my swing. And he goes, God, Matt, he goes, what ounce is that? And I think it was 38 ounce.
Jeez.
So, so he goes,
you're swinging an oak tree.
So he goes, here, try this one. And so what he did is, I have never had coaching and hitting at all,
Yeah, because you weren't allowed, this was all just pick up and self-taught.
And he was a teacher in St. Cloud. I knew that. And anyway, so anyway, he let me use his bat, and then what he does is he takes the wrapping off the bat, and he just puts one layer of tape on it, and he says that way I can grip it. I don't have it like this. It's
not so bulky. Yeah,
and drop a finger. Okay, and then so you got this figure hanging over, and oh my God, I mean, you swing and you hit it, you don't even know you hit the ball. And it goes.
Yeah, well, that big of a bat. Yeah. How much
Oh,
weight?
no. I used his. He had a 26 ounce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, after swinging a 38, going
Yeah.
to a 26.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, your swing is so much fast. Oh, it was just
Yeah. The speed.
it was so awesome. So okay, so I played on that team, and again, you're right. The Jehovah's Witnesses were right because in Elk River you play 2 games, but you have a game wait.
Everyone
And
grabs a pitcher of beer.
And
yep.
they smoke a little
Yeah.
pot.
Yep.
And then screw themselves up. And so I'm seeing all that, and
Yeah.
I'm just drinking a Coke and then getting the ice,
Yeah.
and I go, oh my gosh. And then it did screw them up,
Yeah.
for about 2 innings,
Yeah.
but we had a good team. Anyway, so I saw that and I thought, God, maybe I'm, these guys are not who I thought they were, and then, eventually.
So now you start thinking about Jehovah's Witness a little bit more.
Yep. When I married Yvonne.
Yep.
And she's a Catholic.
Yep.
And she goes, and I'm going to the Catholic Church now.
Okay.
With my mother-in-law, and because it didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
You
You were kind of just without faith at this point.
I was.
Okay.
And I prayed. I did pray to God once in a while. And He has a way of, how should I say this? When you're thinking you're as good as anybody, about things happen that puts you in your place.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened a couple times to me where God, I prayed to God and He put me in my place.
Did you recognize it? Now, were you like angry at God for it, or did you not
No.
really? You didn't really think two.
No.
You didn't really think 2 + 2 at the time.
He saved my life twice.
Okay.
That's how I'm looking at it.
Okay.
So that major fire that we had downtown Monticello where that building collapsed.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Luke Delheimer.
Yep.
I'm thinking, and his dad Greg. That call came in, and I was at the AV room turning in some movies. Luckily, I didn't have my kids with me, and so I was at the fire station and made first truck out. Okay, and I was not senior. Greg was senior, but I was, Luke and I think it was Greg, Luke and I think Mark Wallen was there. He was the chief, and I can't remember who's driving the truck. Well, we went in there. And we were the first truck out, but the ladder was right behind us. And so the ladder pulled out on Broadway, but we went in the alley. So we were the first ones in the buildings. Luke and I was. And I had the hose. And it is hot. There's no venting that went out, and there's no way you could vent the ceiling because I think it was block, or
Okay.
concrete or whatever. Anyway, we went in. You go on your hands and knees. You can't see your hand in front of your face at all. And it's hot, So I know it's furniture in there and there's clothing in there. And so we went in. We go all the way to the west because the door's on the east side. And again, you can't vent. And so the ladder hooked up now, and now they break in the door on the west or on the north side. We came in on the south side. The wind's coming from the north, so there's no way. And they came in with a 2.5. I went in with 1 3/4 inches. I was in all the way to the west, and it's, I can't even tell you how hot it was. But anyway, I told, we can't, Luke, I said, can't see the fire. I think it's above us. Hold your breath, shut your eyes and hold your breath and see if you can hear it. And so I did. And then I prayed, oh God, we're going to need help here. And sure enough, you could hear crackling above us, we were spraying as we were going in. So we were building up heat. Those guys came in that north door and they started spraying. So there's no way for the heat to go, but up or just, instead of being 1%, it's going to go to 1,000% heat. It melted my helmet. I have a safety thing
Yeah,
if you're going to
yep.
cut into a car or something.
Yep.
It melted that right now. So we just got out of there, and they were going to blow the horn on us anyway because we were down to 300 gallons of water, and they couldn't find the fire hydrant. And I knew right where the fire hydrant was on 3rd and Walnut. So I went to hook that up, and as soon as within 5 minutes, the ceiling came down. The roof came in.
Oh, wow. You would have been in there.
We would have been in there. Yeah. So, that got me thinking one time. Second time was with, Johnny Bauer. John Bauer?
Yeah.
Okay. We went into a house burn. And of course, we're both senior. And so the seniors get the last, the bigger chance when it's hotter because, the smaller, when you do a house burn, the first 5 or 10 are real, there's hardly any heat at all.
Okay.
So you want to wait until the very end. And so we were one of the last ones to go, and
This is a training house burn.
training
Yeah,
house burns
okay.
where you have guys that go right in with you,
Yeah.
And that roof came in.
Mm.
And it was just because we would have been in that room, and it's your training again.
Yeah.
There was a fire behind us. So when we went in, we put that, and I went in first with the hose. And then so you never leave a fire behind you, ever.
Okay.
So we put it out, and just that 15, 20 seconds of me putting it out and then going in more, and then I put everything out that was there, and then we switched hands. And John, my God, if we would have went in another, 10 seconds, that whole ceiling came down just in that room.
Oh,
And
geez.
then when it came down, it's hard. I mean,
Yeah.
it would kill you instantly. And that put me in my place.
Yeah.
Huge. I didn't pray at all, but I mean, I know he was looking out for me there.
Just part of that thinking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I know.
And so
then-
this is, I think, obviously you jump forward a little bit there. This
Mm-hmm.
is, you were still
Oh,
kind of without religion,
Yep.
but you're going to the Catholic mass with
Yep.
Yvonne.
yep.
And
And they know that too.
yep.
And when I started dating Yvonne, she cuts hair,
Yep.
stylist. And so I wanted to go, well, she's never been to a Kingdom Hall, so we went, and she didn't have a dress on. She had a skirt on, and it wasn't short, but, we went there, and it was a good talk, and everything. And then, so we went home, I dropped her off, and my older brother calls, and he's the elder now in Princeton. And then he goes, yeah, Matt, I saw you brought Yvonne, and that's good. But her, skirt was too short, So I went, whoa, okay. And I noticed you had your fire pager on. I go, yeah. You can't bring that in here either because it'll erupt, whatever.
The service or something.
The service, yeah. So I go, whoa, okay.
How old were you about now?
That was in the Yvonne and I started date. We got married in '93, so we dated for 4 years. So it was 1989.
Okay.
So anyway, then Mike was looking for a job, and he says, Matt, how about hiring me? My older brother, that's an elder. And I said, well, Mike, I says, my guys have to work weekends, and I think that'll be a problem for you. Well, he says, I just can't work between 9:30 and 11:30 or whatever. And I said, well, that won't work. You can start rounds, at 7, and then they got to be between 7 and 9:30. You can start rounds, and it takes 2 hours. But you're on call. If something comes up, you have to answer. Well, that ain't going to work because I know you worked for Remley, and then they wanted him to work Saturdays. So then he quit there, and then he ended up being a roofer, and very good roofer. I mean, he's precise, but he won't work weekends. And then they have meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays also. So he had to leave, so he made those meetings. He wouldn't miss a meeting.
Okay.
So, but he's so nice. I mean, he's, how should I say that? It's, he's, it's their belief,
Yeah.
that's the thing, but anyway, then I'm starting to go, and I want to start going to church, and so I researched it,
Okay.
their Bible.
And so you brought Yvonne to the Jehovah's Witness service
One
just
service.
one time.
Yeah.
Got called out. You're like, okay.
Yep.
So now you're still going to the Catholic service,
Yep, a lot.
but you're still just
Yeah,
doing your research.
I'm just doing it for her.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yep.
because we do everything together.
Us men tend to do that once in a while for women.
Yep. And so I researched because my other brother Troy, he's the second, the youngest. I talk to him all the time. He will talk. My brother Mike won't because he knows I'm not a Jehovah's Witness at all, and he doesn't. Every time we talk, I always kind of pin him down on stuff that he doesn't like to get pinned down on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I call him out on that. We were driving, and I said, Mike, where is everybody going to be? After Armageddon, everybody gets resurrected from when Jesus was all the way, to now. And he goes, well, who knows, Matt? There could be a planet out there, that we could live on. And, and I go, Mike, no, and oh gosh. Anyway, so I researched the Bible, their Bible, and
So
they're
you
on
just
their.
grabbed the New King James or a Jehovah's Witness Bible or both, you side by side.
Well, the key is here. How I got thinking about that is I used to pick up an older gentleman to take him to the Kingdom Hall
Yeah.
when I first started driving when I was 16, and I didn't have a Bible back then. We always borrowed my mom only had one Bible, and that green one would be the second translation of the Holy Bible, the second translation of the Holy Scriptures. That's what it is. Okay, the very first one they wrote. And they took the King James. This is what I understand. That's what I was told by my mom. And they started it in the early 50s. And it took them like 4 or 5 years and they have 6 volumes of the first edition of the Holy Scriptures. That's the Jehovah's Witness Bible. Okay, so that older gentleman gave me that one. Okay, so I had all 6. Okay, so then I was reading Bible scriptures, on Thursday night. There's 5 meetings for the Jehovah's Witness. There's 2 of them on Thursday night, and one of them's Bible reading. So I read the Bible reading, and I used that Bible. And then, believe it or not, the overseer told my mom that I shouldn't use that Bible, that we have to use the black one, which was the second translation of the Holy Scriptures. So that was a green one. Meanwhile, the one that was out not then was the black one, and that was the third edition of the Holy Scriptures. And so that's what she bought me, was a black one, the third edition. And so I never read it, or, I used the black one, didn't even think about this. So anyway, my senior year, I made this huge bookcase because, I've got 6 brothers, and then my mom. So we have a lot of Jehovah's Witness Bibles in there and books, you know. And so we had no room to put them. So I made a bookcase all out of oak, because we had to make a project.
Yeah.
And we had them all there, So anyway, so that got me thinking too. Now I've got the Black Bible, the third. So anyway, but they started the first one in 1957 now, or ended in 1957. So why did they keep changing? So I asked my brother that. And so wherever there's God or Lord in this, they put Jehovah. It's kind of brainwashing, I'm thinking anyway. Everything is Jehovah. Everything's Jehovah. And Jehovah is God's name because he's many names. I mean, he's many names, So that got me going too a little bit. And then the 144,000, they have to see World War I, they have to see World War II, and they will see the end of the world. And they figured it'll be in 1975. Meanwhile, on Thursday nights, there's a magazine that comes out that the Jehovah's Witnesses go through. It's called the Kingdom Ministry. Okay, the only thing that they celebrate is like the Passover, just like, all churches kind of do a little bit.
Yep.
And it's in May, I think in May or end of April. Well, anyway, they keep track of that, people that participate, in taking the bread and the wine, which is God's, Jesus's blood, the wine is.
Yep.
Anyway.
Represents Jesus' blood and the bread his body. Yep.
And they had it down to like 300 in 1975 when I graduated. And every year it's going down. And we talk about that, as a family. Wow, the end is coming. The end is coming. The end is coming. Now my dad died, in 1976. And then my mom remarries. I go, Mom. I said, it bothered me. Why are you going to get married with this guy when, Armageddon's supposed to be here? Well, your dad won't love me like he loves you guys because marriage is until death, Now, you're talking to a 19-year-old boy that's never dated a girl. You know? And I said, no. I said, when you fall in love and it's only 2 years, Armageddon's supposed to be here, Anyway.
So you really thought the world was going to be like by the time you were 21?
Gone, done.
So what are they like? So they just postponed it to 2075 now, or what are they writing now?
We put my mom in a nursing home 8 years ago, and my brother, my second youngest brother, is a Jehovah's Witness too, and he's a ministerial servant. So I asked him about that. I said, Troy, because he keeps bringing up religion, and he's knocking the Catholics big time because that's what they do. I think they're threatened by them or whatever.
Okay.
If you go to a funeral, it's the Catholics believe this and we believe this. Well, anyway, I said, what about the 144,000? What's going on there now, Troy? And he goes, Matt, I know. he goes, now it's the next generation of the people that's going to see, that's, saw World War One's, World War Two, and going to see the end of the world. But it's the next generation will see the end of the world. So it'd be the kids that, so I
Interesting.
go, yeah, I said, Troy,
It's moving fast.
come on,
Yeah.
come on, Troy. And then, I just research it. Look at all the kingdom halls that are being sold, And so, because my older brother brought this up because he moved to Pipestone, and that's where the kingdom hall we went to when we lived in South Dakota.
Yep.
And so now they sold and that building. So I go, they sold the old kingdom hall at Pipestone? He goes, yeah. He goes, well, where is Pipestone meeting? Well, they don't meet in Pipestone anymore. They either come to their church or Laverne. So, and then I was talking to Troy, or I was helping him build a shed. They shut down a kingdom hall by them. So now they're all combining again. So I said, well, what's going on? He goes,
Sounds like it's shrinking.
yeah. And so he goes, well, Matt, he says, we're having a hard time filling the elders, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense. So what I did is Google it. Kingdom halls for sale. The problem they've got is, how the Catholics had all the ministers that were molesting these kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They have the trouble, all religions probably have this. Jehovah's Witnesses do too. But the Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't turn it into the police. They do now because they got called out on and they got sued. So the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society is the ones that basically they print up all the Watchtower and Awakes and all the magazines. And they're in Manhattan Island in New York. They own a lot of land there. And it's worth billions.
Probably, yeah.
It is worth billions. And so what they did, they sold it, and then they built a whole new structure on a man-made lake somewhere in New York, upper state New York. Okay, now the problem is now they're getting sued because of the molestation of boys and girls by elders, and it's not going to through the cops, police. They kind of keep it, and now it's coming out. These kids are getting older.
They're speaking up.
And now they're suing them, for some major money, like 20 million or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is, if it goes through the Watchtower, they get sued for a percentage of how much the church is worth, I guess. That's what I understand. And so what they ended up doing is they divided it up now. Now, not everything is the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. They have that, but they also have the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses, which is worth way less. And that's where the key is. When they get sued or whatever, then because of the lawsuits, they are closing them down. They're not building very many at all anymore.
Oh.
So that's what I found on,
Just doing some research.
And then the Bible, I found out. And then, and then the 144,000, how they have some testimony of theirs because now they're all old now. These supposed to be 144,000. And they've been working at the Watchtower Bible Tract Society for years. And now they're old and they don't take care of them. What they want them to do is go back into they want you to go back into the government, a nursing home, but they have no money, so the government, the state will take care of them, So
I feel like that's against some rules probably too, but interesting.
Yeah.
So you were doing your research, read the Bible. So did you have it sounds like John 1:1 was the initial wedge
that's
for you.
Yes. And then,
but then you kind of,
I Googled the list.
Yeah. You drifted away from religion for a while.
Yep.
And then Yvonne, God bless her, probably got you thinking about it again.
Well, just before, when I was getting not a divorce, when my first wife was not coming home, she wanted to be a bartender. She was a bartender up at VFW, and she ended up, meeting a local guy, up there. And so, she knew that I had to leave the house at 7 to go to work,
Yeah.
And I know she got off at 1.
Yeah.
And she, she would come home later and later and later. And then pretty soon she's saying she's out with the girls. And I know the girls she was bartending with were really loose. And so I prayed to God. I said, I don't know what to do here, God. I got 3 kids, I'm rocking the littlest one. I think she was less than 1. And I even thought about suicide, to be truthful with you, you know, because I know, you know, I had a, you know, little life insurance, you know, and I kind of didn't want to live anymore. You know, God, what can I do? You know, what should I do or whatever. But, you know, then I talked to the public works, you know, the city administrator a little bit about it, and everything will work out. Just give it time, you know, and it did. You know, she got engaged and to get married, and, you know, her and her fiance or whatever, they bought a house. But now she wanted the kids, but now he doesn't want the kids. And he's a local guy that's married with 3 kids too. And I knew his wife worked on the ambulance service. And she knew me. And we were working an accident, and she says, Matt, I'm so sorry. And I knew her last name, and I knew she was the wife or the ex-wife. I said, no, I know. It wasn't meant to be. But I prayed to God to have somebody come into my life. And I met 2 girls, but they were, you know, just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And then, and here's how God put me in my place again. So I could hit the ball a long ways.
Back to softball.
Softball, yeah.
Yeah.
And so Yvonne asked me if I wanted to go to the Beach Boy concert at the State Fair. And I said, I can't. I'm in a big tournament in Montrose, you know, and we've won it every year.
I can't lose it this year.
No. And I'm playing with, you know, a couple of the Pribbles, you know, I don't know. And we had a good team. And I don't want to brag at all, but I could hit home runs kind of
on demand.
On demand.
I've seen that. There's softball players that can do that.
And so I on Saturday had an excellent day. On Sunday, first game, I think I hit 2 home runs in the morning, and then I play in left center field or right center, and going for a ball down. Then my spikes hit a round irrigation thing, and I tore my ACL.
Oh,
yeah, big time. So I couldn't play for a year, and then, you know, I never did.
You should have went to the Beach Boy concert.
Yeah, I never went.
It would have been good
that
vibrations.
That would have been our first date, you know. And so my brother went in to get his hair cut, and that's where I got my haircut too, of course. But she goes, here. And Todd told him what happened to me. He says, I want to go get him a card. So she went to, I think, Walmart, or not Walmart, but Hallmark, I think was there.
Oh, yeah, right up in Monticello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or that or Snyder's, one of the two was in,
Okay.
it was in the mall. And so she wrote me a real nice card, and, you know, I just, you know, it took me, I'm going to 6 months to even walk again.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so I asked her out, and things, you know, progressed from there. And our first date was awesome. We went to, Real Water. I'm a water operator for the city, and I have to go to a school. And so I went to Real Water, and I introduced him to Tony Belgian, was his name, defensive end for the Fighting Irish.
Oh, okay.
With Joe Montana.
Oh.
He blocked the punt and recovered the punt because Sid Hartman did a write-up on him. And I remember reading that write-up because I always read Sid Hartman.
Yeah, Sid's articles were fantastic.
And he's the one, he says, I think Robbinsdale boy blocks punt against, I can't remember who they're playing.
Yeah.
Recovered the punt, and Joe Montana marched him down for the
game-winning touchdown.
So he's sells our water meters. And so I introduced him to her, and that was on the first date. And then if you remember Jeff, he's the guy that has all these dummies that can Dunham.
Oh, yeah. Yep, Jeff Dunham, yeah.
Before he's famous, he was there with just the main guy that plays Walter. Oh, gosh, that was funny. That was our first date. So then we come back in. I got to drop her off at Going in Style, and I saw the tattletale signs of our tankers going out, so I knew there's a fire. And it was, I think, Dorn's barn fire. So I dropped her off, went to the fire, and fought the fire, you know, until early morning. And then that was our first date. And basically, and then I prayed to God I got nothing out of the Catholic Church. And they're great people, you know. They don't read the Bible at all. Not much, you know. They do a lot of singing, and half of it is just basically doing I shouldn't even say this because I know there's a lot of Catholics who might listen to this. But anyway, I didn't get much out of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I told that to my wife, to Yvonne. And so Yvonne's cutting a gentleman's hair, and he's used to be the minister at Riverside.
Okay.
And so Bill Arendt.
Yep.
And so what's the chances of him picking up his wife, shutting the van off, walking the door to get his wife, and then he went to leave. He couldn't get the van started. Then it was 3:30, and I work until 4. And so Yvonne calls me, goes, he was going to call somebody to pick up the truck. He says, no, Matt will come and he'll figure it out. So I came there and I, got it going. And then he just asked me some questions.
Yeah.
And we got talking about the Bible and about, everything that list that I brought you, that's all works.
Yeah.
That's
It's
all works.
All works.
You're
Yep.
not saved by works. You're
No.
saved by His mercy and faith.
Yeah.
Into God. And also Jesus being. But anyway, so then, this is so funny. Anyway, so we hit it off. I
Yeah.
mean, we went to. I've already been to 5 Catholic churches. One is all of them.
All of them. Yep.
Big Lake, Becker,
The surrounding area.
St. Ben's, Monticello, Maple Lake, Annandale, So anyway, now we went to there. Now I told my wife, I get nothing out of it. I really want to start looking. And so she agreed. And then
It's a big step for her too.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. And then we had Jedediah, he on the fire department. He's our pastor on the fire department.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Married my daughter and, Dennis, George. Oh, what a guy. So it was either between them and Riverside. And we picked Riverside.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. Tom Lundeen, now he's going to retire. But boy, he's a 10. He goes through the Bible. I mean, huge. And then I get so much out of it. Yeah, no, I am blessed. I am blessed.
So you basically found faith from, well, I mean, obviously there's a few spots there.
Yeah.
But the old pastor had a bum vehicle at the hair salon, and you went to help him out, just help a guy out because it's who you are.
Yes.
Not really caring he's a pastor or whatever.
Yeah.
And then some small talk turned
Yeah.
into some scripture,
Scripture.
and then turned into you showing up Sunday, and now
I've been going we hardly miss it all.
Yeah.
We serve.
Yeah.
We're going to 2, Bible groups.
Bible studies.
Yeah. And then it's, it is awesome, awesome. And then, believe it or not, we put my mom in a nursing home, and now she's great friends with a gentleman in the nursing home too. And she's no longer Joe's Witness.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not because we don't believe in blood at all. And it's so funny because for her finances, I am her financer guy, but I'm not the lead. My brother Troy was, and he's Joe's Witness, and it's all because of the blood. Okay. And I said, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. I just retired, so I got all this time. And
All this time. Yeah.
so anyway, yeah. Remember, if something happens to me, I can't take no blood at all, Matt. No blood. And my brother Mike said this too. My older brother, he's an elder. And so did Troy. My younger brother is not an elder, ministerial servant. The next step is an elder. And so I go, Troy, I'm going to tell you, and this is true. I just worked on a lady that had a very severe cut on her leg. And we stopped it, but she took like 5 units of blood. Okay? But she lived. If it wasn't for that, she would have died.
Yeah.
And so basically, Troy, if I'm with you, and if you were in an accident, or if I'm working on you in an accident, and they couldn't get a hold of your wife, I'm going to tell them I'm your brother. He can have blood. And then I said, after you're saved and you're playing with your grandkids, you can thank me later.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I told him. He goes, oh, I've got something in my wallet, Matt. They got,
He's afraid that you're going to have to actually do it.
But what's so sad about it is, he just passed away of a heart attack last August. And then my littlest brother, who, just started giving talks, on Thursday nights, which are 15-minute talks before you start giving hour talks at other halls. He died, and with his wife. And then my older brother, who's the elder that I'm going to go see this Saturday, They died all in a house fire in 2021.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So, and see, the thing is, James is the one that passed away, and his wife, Wendy, is from Monticello. I won't say her last name. But anyway, her little sister was getting married the next week. This is New Year's Eve. Okay, the next week she's getting married. So what they did is they took down all the fire alarms to paint, okay, the house. So the fire alarms weren't up. Okay, what started the fire? They were going to have a paraffin wax party for the bridal shower where they had all these strips plugged in, an outlet, and then they
Oh,
had,
for little pot things to heat them up and stuff?
yeah, so they don't know if it overheated the wiring. And then again, it didn't cause a flame right away. It just smoldered. So it takes all your oxygen and your carbon monoxide is high. So anyway, what happened was somebody got out of the house because there was snow and you could see him rolling around. And then he went back in the house. So they figured it was my nephew that did that. But they found all three in the bathroom. They couldn't break the window to get out. All three of them. They had the Princeton Fire Department. They had towels underneath the door, to keep the heat or whatever out, but they couldn't break the window. So I don't know. I believe bathroom windows have a tempered window, so they didn't have anything hard enough to break it. They couldn't break it with their fist or their hands or whatever. So, and he was Jehovah's Witness, So I know. I always thought about that too. God, I should be the one dead here, and I might die tomorrow. I don't know, but I hope not. I believe in God 100%. Always did, But I believe God put me in my place when he tore my ACL, Just thinking I'm too big for my britches or whatever,
He humbles us.
Yeah, he humbles you, Yeah. So,
Well, I think it's interesting you brought up that it's all works, is what that list is.
yeah, that's all works. It's
Yeah.
by faith.
Yeah.
And so my brother, the week before he passed of a heart attack, that's what we talked about. And you'll look in there, you can't have facial hair, and you couldn't wear jeans. You had to wear a suit. And I know that bothered me too, because we couldn't afford a suit, so we wore leisure suits. So I believe that's the reason why we couldn't participate in holding the microphone for people to answer questions or whatever. But we could mow the grass or trim, but we couldn't do anything major.
You were kind of blocked out of
Yeah.
there was a spot and you weren't able to do. See that? Yeah, that's odd too.
Yeah, I always thought of that,
Yeah.
and I might be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but no, I have real good friends, with it, but now they won't have anything to do with me at all. My best friend that I graduated with, God, I shouldn't. And it was my fault. I shouldn't have said this. We dropped my stepdad off in Malacca at the nursing home because Princeton was full and he had to go in first. And but my dad and my brother that died in the house fire, and his wife, and then my nephew is buried in Malacca. So the guy I graduated with now is an elder, and the head elder.
And this was one of your best friends growing up.
Yeah, I graduated with him, and then the main elder. They were going up to Princeton or to Malacca too with Lauren and my mom. So they met me up there, and then Wayne, he's the head elder in Princeton. He goes, "I'd like to talk to my mom, to your mom and Lauren." And I said, "No problem." I said, "I'm going to the cemetery, and then after that, I'm going to our old farm." And walk I always, when I go see the cemetery, I always go by the farm because I wanted to buy it.
Yeah.
And then I hate to say this, my mom sold it before we didn't even know she was going to sell it.
Yeah.
And then she sold it, to the chiropractor, and now it's a housing development. Anyway, so we got talking up there, and Wayne and Brad goes, "Man, I'd sure love the Bible, study with you with the Bible." And I shouldn't have said this, but I said, "Oh, I'd love to. But we're not going to use your Bible. We're going to use, my Bible or the King James." And he got, "Oh, well, there's no sense talking to you anymore. You're apostate." I think it's in there too. If you, so that was it. I haven't seen, that was it right there. He left. And yeah, that he left. And then, but when my brother died last August, he died in July, but they had the memorial in August. And he came up, he met me at the door, and he gave me a big hug and said I was sorry, but that's all.
Yeah. Well, you just keep praying, keep working,
Yeah.
keep, you know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Yes.
that's all you can do. Like
Yeah.
God will do it like he
Yeah.
did with you,
Yeah.
you know, on his timing, and his
Yeah.
timing's perfect,
Yeah.
which sometimes we don't understand that because we think
No.
our timing's perfect.
Yeah. We always want it done right now. When you
Yeah.
pray to God, I want it, I need this and I want
Yeah.
it right now.
Yeah.
And it's just like building our house, you know, my wife got really sick, really sick.
Yeah.
And we were, she started getting sick when I retired. But when you retire, you have to put your paperwork in for PERA 6 months in advance, And so I put my paperwork in, and I also give my notice to the City of Monticello that I was planning on retiring, in 6 months okay. So anyway, now she's getting sick, and yeah, really bad. And so I didn't, and I was going to paint the whole house that we're building. That's $20,000.
Yeah,
and
that's
I
a
was
lot. They charge
cheap.
nothing building a house now is cheap.
Nope.
Nothing.
And then I was going to do all the trim and
Yep.
set the trim. I can do that, and I got all the time.
Yeah,
But now I can't do it.
because you're taking care of your
Her
wife.
and she
Yeah.
doesn't want me to leave because
Yeah.
she is,
miserably sick.
oh my God, really bad.
Yeah.
Real bad. So I don't know. I go, God, I don't know what I'm going to do here, because I was counting on,
You had it all figured out financially and timing and everything.
Yep, yep. So we prayed and we prayed and we prayed, and I held her, and I mean, I was in the bedroom praying with her all the time, and she didn't want me to leave, and I understand that, and I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And so fortunate that I was almost done painting, but I haven't started to trim.
Yeah.
And so I called the builder, and I said, I've got all the trim, all the stain. I went and bought a brand new, sander. I already had two, but I can't do it now. So can you get somebody else? So the guy that did the taping, they're a big company, so
Yeah.
they came in and stained, and it was, that was $18,000, and so I go, okay, and I had money saved up that I wanted to use for the the driveway,
Yeah.
and so but so I go, I was just thinking, I didn't tell my wife this at all, but I was thinking, God, what am I going to do? What am I going to
Yeah.
do? And then, God dang, prayed to God, and all of a sudden I dreamt, sell the boat. So I just bought the boat just when I retired.
Yeah.
So the boat's only 3 years old.
Yeah.
So boom, there we go right there. And it sold within not even a day.
Yeah.
I had
And
Heather,
there's your driveway.
yeah, and no, that's everything.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, that was so God did,
His timing.
his timing was awesome.
Yeah. It's weird. I think when we get so intertwined in our own timing and our own schedule and our own brains, you drive yourself kind of bonkers
Yeah.
and everyone around you,
Yeah,
or they drive you bonkers,
Yeah.
but really it's you.
yeah,
But when we look at it as you, and it's hard, right? Like we're human, human nature wins
Yes.
a lot of the time.
yes,
But if you take your step back and kind of go, okay, wait, like I have faith. I don't know why this is going this way. I don't know why I'm suffering or why I'm going through this, but God's got a plan for it,
yeah,
and it sounds cliche. And it sounds like, oh, it's easy to accept if you're not the one suffering,
Yeah.
and very true,
yeah,
but it's interesting how you can go, hey, that torn ACL was God reaching out and saving my life.
and that's
you know?
exactly what I thought. I said, God's way of,
Yeah.
oh,
And most people would be like, this just ruined my career,
Nope.
my favorite pastime. I love playing softball. And instead this now opened a whole nother door for you that you didn't know.
yes, no, I know. And it's so funny because the guy that bought I'm going to back up 2 weeks before, about a month before that. Okay, so we got the house not sold, but my nephew's going to buy it. Okay, so anyway, he has to have it inspected. Okay, so Yvonne is, she's been breaking out for her body. I'm going to say 6 months and getting worse and worse. And we went to, two specialists. We went and saw the our doctor, and they get us off to two specialists. And they put her these patches on her back or whatever. And anyway, it wasn't helping. It was making it worse, to the point, I hate to say what it is, because if she hears this, she might get upset with me. I don't want her to get upset with me.
Don't do that. Let's not
yeah,
upset
no,
Yvonne. Let's
no.
not do that.
So
Let's leave that off the table.
So anyway, now I'm painting, and she's starting to clear the bedroom downstairs, and I when we bought the house in 2005, they never put a flooring down in this bed, the far bedroom, and we got a couple good rains, and the water came in. That's why they didn't put the flooring in. So what I did is just like I did my old house, I landscaped it and get the water away. And I landscaped it in 2005. We never got water in the basement ever again. So when I retired, I put flooring in. It's a Cortex, which is watertight, airtight, and it's got a cork layer in the bottom. Okay, now she is taking out, removing everything out of that closet. She noticed one box was wet. Okay, so then I come home and it was like at 7 o'clock, and she says, "Honey, I was taking the boxes, out of that bedroom, and one was wet." And she says, "I am really, itching, and I have a headache." And I go, "Oh, okay, no, just go lay down. Just go lay down. I'll go down and take a look." So I removed the bed and the dresser, and I took over a third of the floor before it was wet. And of course, it's sewage, And then, of course, how should I say this? Sheetrock was wet, but the paneling was on the front of the sheetrock, and then it was paneling, sheetrock, and then it's your tubing, your insulation, your 2x4s. So I removed it until I ran out of it. I vacked it all up, got some bleach and bleached it all up, and the 2x4s are wet, the insulation's wet, removed all that, took it all out of there. Okay, so now I've got to paint and I've got to trim and do all this. Now she is breaking out huge.
Yeah, she keeps going downhill.
She's allergic to the mold. It's mold in there.
Mm.
Okay, now where did it come from? So about 3 years before that, my sewer failed. I needed to get a new septic system.
Yeah.
Okay, which is no problem. I did. And when they were digging, to hook onto the existing sewer coming out to take to the new tank, they hit that, and the person that built the house, they're the ones that have fault here. So they got a 6-inch opening for this 4-inch sewer pipe to go through, but they didn't caulk it or put anything in there to keep it. So when they were digging to find it, it's marked, but they should have hand dug it. They hit it and they broke the elbow where it's coming out of the house. It's inside the house, and that's where they broke it. So it's been leaking for about 3 years. And so, there's mold coming up. And so she was direct contact with that. And so, okay, so then I am so busy. I called a contractor that's on the fire department, and he came over, and I wanted him to, finish it. And he says, "Man, I am too busy. I'm just too busy. I can't. I'm going to give you the name of a guy, and his first name is Denny, and he'll do it. He's real reasonable." So I called him, and he came right over, and Denny is his name. And he said, "Yeah, I had a dream that you were going to call me today." And I go, "Really?" And I said, "Okay, can you do it?" "I sure will." He said, I said, "I've been dealing with the adjuster for like a month now. And meanwhile, I cleaned it all up and put it all back together. But then I find out I can't do that. I have to have a licensed contractor, and they have to do a mold mediation, talking to our assessor."
Oh, okay.
And so anyway, I said, "No problem," but he's a contractor.
Yeah.
Okay. And then anyway, long story short, his name is Denny.
And he had a dream that you were going to call him.
He's going to have a dream that I was going to call him. And,
Did you know him before?
Didn't know about him at all.
But he just had this dream that you, and he said it was you,
Yeah.
like he knew in the dream.
I said, "This is Matt Theisen. I had a dream that a Matt was going to call me." And and Lennon Larson's wanted to give me his name, and he said he's very religious. And he is. I mean, he's got some different ideas, but they make sense.
Yeah.
I can go through that someday with you too. But anyway, he'd be a good guy to get here.
Okay.
I got Humphreys, his last name.
Okay.
Denny Humphreys. Well, anyway, so now the problem is the adjuster is giving me a hard time. I mean, a hard time. And so there was a fireman, I don't want to use his name because
Skip it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he's high up in the insurance company. Maybe that'll give you the right there.
Okay.
Okay. So now they just purchased a cabin on a lake,
Yeah.
big,
North.
yeah,
Yep.
north. Okay. Well, anyway, he wants me to, he's real good friends with my son-in-law
Yeah,
and my
yeah.
daughter. And so he says, Lindsay calls. Your dad's and your mom's not going to say, we're not going to take a no. He's coming up this weekend. He's got to get away. I know he's, a lot going on. And so he came, he followed my son-in-law, my daughter over. And so I came out and Yvonne is just bawling, She is so broke out. I mean, her eyes
It's
are
miserable right
are
now.
shut almost.
Yeah.
Her ears are all, it's bad. And so I came and I said, I can't go. I just can't go. Well, what's the problem? And I said, I've got a guy to fix it. But I said, the adjuster's giving me a hard time. This will be all taken care of Monday morning. Boom. It was. And because we were going to close in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah. So
They
you had.
wanted
Oh yeah. So you had
Yeah.
the time pressure of that.
Huge.
Yvonne's super sick, and then you have this massive. How do
Yeah.
I fix this?
And a Donnie called.
Yeah.
And who bought the boat? Donnie. I could not believe that. We're praying about this. And his wife has the same problem my wife did, and she passed.
Wow.
Exact same thing. So I go, wow. Except he used modern medicine, and we used, how should I say that?
Homeopathic.
Medicine. And my wife was on 16 supplements. They put her on 16 supplements, but it cleared her. I mean, it took a long time, but it cleared her back up. I mean, that was just, so what is that?
Yeah. It's just more
just-
God movements.
Yeah. I mean,
You can't.
yeah,
You can't script it
no.
because when you think you have a plan,
Yeah.
and there's a curveball, but then there's a solution that comes out of the nowhere.
a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I dreamed
wasn't
you were
even,
going to call.
I wasn't even thinking about selling the boat,
Yeah.
I mean, and I mean, what's more important, I mean,
A boat or a driveway? Probably a
yeah,
boat.
yeah, yeah.
You could drive on dirt.
or a wife.
or wife. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So that, I mean, yeah.
So God's been working in mysterious ways through your life, in ways now you look back and you see probably even more of those moments.
And I have the best one here, but I don't know if I dare tell you guys because it involves my older brother.
No, we don't want to get nobody. We're not in the business of
But
trying to
But it's God.
try and.
I think it's God, it's just, how, we're no part of the world. We don't do anything with the government at all. Nothing. No pledge of allegiance. No nothing. But yet, whenever they can get it, take it from the government, they can.
Yeah, it's
You know,
interesting
it is.
because I was reading a lot of those rules, and it's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes. Yes. No. And it's so funny because I know for a fact that my old house has a red star on it. Because a Jehovah's Witness came there and we got talking about Jehovah's Witness stuff. And I know for a fact the red star means don't go back there. Or red dot, you
Yeah.
know,
All right,
because
listen.
I put them on those when I went out. But
Yeah.
they were talking about how Jehovah's Witness helps people, but it's their own Jehovah's Witness. They don't help everybody, just their own Jehovah's Witness. And I said, no, they don't, And she goes, no, we did, because we had a hurricane went through, and we had a whole bunch of people went and re-put roofs on the houses. I said, well, that's awesome. That is awesome. But I said, a tornado took our barn, and not one Jehovah's Witness came to help us. If it wasn't for it's a big farmer up there.
Yep.
They had 2 houses, and he's divorced. She's a Jehovah's Witness. She lives in one house with the 3 youngest kids. He's a non-believer, never went to a Jehovah's Witness, and he lives in the other one. And he's the only one that came and helped us. And I said, you're leaving it to a 7th grader and a 5th grader, or my fault, an 8th grader and a 6th grader. Try to, get to milk about 14 to 20 cows with the barn gone, And then she didn't know what to say there at all. And I said, our church, Riverside Church, all the proceeds that they take in from church in December, they go to, and we're talking like pretty close to 200,000. You can ask Chris. I might even be closer to 100,000, but they give all that money away to, I can't remember how many schools around. They'll give it to not the principal, but the counselors who needs the money, and they give gift certificates, credit card to them, and also the police, whoever they think needs
Yeah.
it. We also sent 300,000 when that big tornado went through Florida. They send it to all churches, basically to pay their deductibles on their insurance. Okay, when Paradise or whatever burnt in California, remember the whole town?
Oh yeah, the
burnt?
Palisades. Yeah,
Palisades.
yeah.
We did the exact same thing, not to just one church; it was to all churches. I thought that makes me feel so good.
Knowing it's going somewhere.
It's
Knowing
going
it's going
somewhere.
something.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Versus
yes.
staying internal, but then you've lived it and not seen any help when you needed it the most.
None. And my dad knew that too. So that guy that came and helped us, we went over and hayed. We helped him hay.
Yeah. That's how it worked,
Yep.
right? He helped you out, and then when you got back on your feet, you helped him out.
Yep. So, and believe it or not, that was they had a TV, so we were taking break when they
You got to watch a little TV on break.
when they landed on the moon.
Oh,
When they landed on the moon, he shut it down. We shut down haying to watch him land on the moon. So I thought that was awesome.
wow.
Yeah, black and white.
Yeah.
But yeah. So no, I had a great childhood. I loved animals. We had, I pray to God every day. I thank Him for my family and, my wife and my kids, all my kids, and my three oldest don't want to have anything to do with church at all. And
I'll keep praying.
I do.
Yeah.
What I'm praying is they have two kids. One of the kids, the girl reads quite a bit and pretty smart. I'm hoping she picks up on the religion, and then we'll be right
Pulls
there.
them in. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they have a hard time with my wife, and it's because of my ex-wife. But anyway, no, I pray every night for the whole family. I thank Him for everything that He's given me, and all the pets that I've had since I can remember: the cows, the pigs, the horses. It was a great life, except for, the adhered to the religion. That's the key. But I didn't know any better, so it really didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I got to do anything I wanted to do after I moved out of home.
Yeah.
And I had a very good career in everything that the fire department, the city.
You've worked very hard.
Yeah. So,
Well, awesome.
Yeah. And I love our church. I work with a ton of people that go to St. Henry's. I mean, a lot. And it's so funny. They ask me, the two guys I work with, they always ask me about Bible scriptures because, purgatory. Matt, do you believe in purgatory? And it's so funny. I go, or the rosary. And I said, Jerry, the rosary and purgatory are not in the Bible at all. Look it up. Maybe it's in your Bible, but it's not in my Bible at all. And, so anyway, and it's not, So I said, anyway, I got my beliefs, and I know.
Well, and I think you take it back to, what you said earlier. The biggest thing is it's not the works.
No.
It's by God's grace.
It's His grace.
It's
and
by your faith.
Faith in God.
Yep.
And I have faith in God.
Jesus did the rest for us.
Yeah. But I know my brothers do too. And, I don't know, it kind of, what happened here,
Yeah.
Because I have two that died and one that is, his wife is a miracle. She's alive, you know, but, it just, you ask questions,
Yeah. Well, it's
You
part of, I think, as a human,
Yeah.
we've talked about it before. You're wrestling with your faith. I mean, that's part of this normal.
Yeah.
It's part of the normal process a little bit.
Mhm.
And I think for everyone, it looks a little different, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think,
But I have a hard time, I'm against abortion, and big time, and I just, when I hate to say it, since I retired, when I was a supervisor at work, so we did not talk about religion or politics at
Yeah.
all. You couldn't, because there's too many there, and I don't want to cause a fight or anything, or
Yep.
bad feeling. So I said, guys, we're not, because we have a couple guys that do. And I said, no, at break we're not talking religion or politics at all, at all. So, and they adhered to that. So I thought that was good. But now
How would you go back and change that now?
I
Or,
got,
or would it be just a little different? Maybe you wouldn't.
yeah.
Maybe you wouldn't condone it, but you wouldn't
Yeah.
be against it per se.
Yeah. I don't know. I really
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. You don't have to. The good thing is you don't have to.
I engage now.
Yeah.
I will engage.
Yeah.
But the abortion thing, I watch Fox quite a bit, and I was watching CNN and MSNBC before, right after I retired, because I have time.
Yeah.
And then Trump got elected, and then the Russia thing with him, and him being in with Russia or whatever, the inclusion thing.
Yep.
And then if you watch CNN, that's all they talked about is how corrupt he was, and MSNBC too was corrupt. And then you start doing your research, and I go, no, this is wrong, And then Nancy Pelosi, she's a Catholic, okay. So is Joe Biden. And then, they have Palm Sunday or whatever where they get the ashes, on the forehead. So Biden had it, and of course he gives a speech, so you could see that he's a Catholic. But they wouldn't, the minister in California wouldn't do Nancy Pelosi because of the abortion thing, or, killing abortions. So, politics, Biden spoke to somebody and probably went to the Pope or whatever, and he called that bishop there, and it came down, and now pretty soon she got the, but,
I think it's a weird.
It's
I think it's a
weird.
weird time because I think.
and therefore, the trans,
Yeah.
it's
And-
just, it's
and
not
that-
common sense.
Yeah. There's a lot of.
Yeah.
I think marketing to people, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of it's just sales,
Yeah,
right? They're
it
just
is.
selling.
Yeah.
The news is sold.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's interesting. You bring. I mean, and it's obviously a lot of people. It's a heavy topic, but at the end of the day, I think, and people that listen to this that may or may not have went to Resurrection a couple weeks ago. Jedediah did a great job bringing it, right and left, because right and left is just one extreme to the next extreme, right?
Right,
Well, what's
right.
at the center?
Yeah.
Jesus is at the center.
Yeah, is center.
So how do we get back to
Yes.
center?
Yes.
Yes. I think that's the key, because
that's
there's
the
things
key.
on both sides
Yeah.
that nobody agrees 100%. I don't care who you are.
No.
I don't
everything.
believe that anybody fully agrees with everything on one side or the other.
Right.
But we take these sides as humans because of one reason or two reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, what if we got back towards center? What would that world look like? If Jesus was the center.
Mm-hmm. And he will be soon.
Exactly.
He
So
will
I
be
think
soon.
that's
Yeah.
where
Yeah,
I
you're
try
right.
not to get
Yep.
pulled
Yeah.
into some of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And once again, I'm human, so I very much there's
Yeah.
things that frustrate me. I'm not holier than anybody.
Yeah.
But I'm just, it was a really good message, and I
Yeah.
thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that would
on
be.
that.
And I know our minister too does not get involved either
Yeah.
way. He says
Yep.
you can vote any way you want to.
Yep.
But I always, at the food shelf, I don't say I'm a Democrat or a Republican. I said I vote for common sense.
Yep.
That's basically what gets me common sense. But I'm going to mention Jesus now. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, who would Jesus vote for?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it'd be common sense. No.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can find a lot of it if you read the Bible. I
Yeah.
think it'll
Oh, you
help you.
can.
It'll guide you.
Yeah.
But,
It is.
all right,
does.
Matt. Well,
Yeah.
I really appreciate talking to you.
Yeah.
I think we've covered a lot of different things. We might have to do this again in the future or something.
Sure.
If you're
No,
willing.
Yeah. No,
But,
I enjoyed it too. Brings back so many memories. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. There was a lot there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Adam, did you have anything you're thinking of or you wanted to add over there? I know you've been thinking.
Well,
We did a lot. We covered a lot.
there's a lot to cover.
Yeah.
I would say I think it would be really helpful if we prayed
Yeah.
for I know like there's a concern that you have of your family members that have passed, and family members that are still Jehovah Witnesses, family members, and we all have family members that aren't saved yet, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And we have friends and coworkers and that they're struggling with their faith. And I think maybe just saying a little prayer about that wouldn't be bad. I've been looking up firefighter scriptures, and there's a bunch of them, but I think maybe that's more important when you say.
Yeah.
Heavenly Father, thank you for today, and thank you for Matt sharing his testimony and just shining a light on that there's still work to be done, but it's not about works. Help us, especially us three guys that love Jesus, help us spread this message of the gospel as far as we can to whoever it is. And we pray for Matt's family members that are gone, Matt's family members that are still maybe trying to figure out their faith and where you are. And I don't want to say confused, because that's insensitive, but we just ask that they get closer and closer to find you. Same with our family members and coworkers. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
All right. That's good. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it, Matt.
Yes. But I was going to tell you one I didn't want. We're not.
Are we are?
Nope, we're still going.
We're still going.
Oh, okay.
We got something?
Nope. I'm
Nope.
good. I'm
You're good. All right.
I'm good.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.